So what we're doing is professional training for anyone who comes in.
And so Frederic, the 500 is for fall semester, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So right now.
What universities are you working with?
University of Colorado, Denver is, we were sort of outgrowing our partnership. Regis University, I'm working on an MOU. We've worked out the curriculum. And University of Denver is very eager to join in, and some other undisclosed institutions.
So the degrees issued from CCD then, or
CCA.
CCA.
Community College Aurora.
Community College in Colorado.
Yes, absolutely. So what these are seamless transfers. So that we have 4 years of students, and soon we will have 6 years. Actually, the NFA program we're going to do is 4+1. So it'll be a 5-year Master of Fine Arts degree, which is a term.
And would they spend 5 years here? Or mixing
No, they do all their film school here. So, and they may go elsewhere for some of their general education courses. But it's all local here, and generally what we're working on with Regis is it's going to be 3 years with the community college, and 1 year with Regis with a 90-credit transfer.
Do you have students who specialize in screenwriting and others specialize in behind the camera?
We have writing, directing, cinematography, videography, post-production, and writing and producing. We also have an acting for the screen certificate that we're looking to turn into a degree program as well. We also have art direction. We're trying to get started. We've got a wonderful art director who's got Emmys for Miami Vice and things like that, who's as an artistic director here, and he's coming in and will be developing an art directing program as well. Animation is another side. We've got someone who's been with Lucas for 20 years, who's just relocated out here and wants to help us build a top-notch animation program. So lots of things, because it all starts, and this is actually where all of these things start merging, right? Because once we have the green screen here, then we can digitally insert anything. So whether it's Monaco or Muppets or or whatever we want our characters to interact with, we can start generating that in our labs and bring it in, or we go out and shoot it and do live action and virtual interaction.
So the governor ever been over?
No, he hasn't.
He needs to.
I think so.
That's my job, I know. He's actually at a lot of our colleges. He has not visited this program.
Yeah. It's getting better. I don't think we're completely over the edge. We just had a meeting of the Film Commission, the legislative, here in the studio a week ago. And we have legislators on board. But still, I mean, we got to the Finance Committee last year, and it was not as well prepared. I mean, people flew in from Los Angeles and so forth, but that wasn't what was needed, really. There was a lot more groundwork, so we're trying to do that. One thing, some students came to me and said, how can we help, and we want to do stuff to get this through the legislature. I said, well, what are your ideas? And they said, well, we thought that we would go around and shoot interviews with all the legislators. and ask
talk
them.
To me before you do that.
I'll
be getting
Nancy,
phone calls.
hands off on
I'll
this.
be getting phone calls.
That's your idea.
I don't understand Colorado. Why in the world would someone come from Broadway or Hollywood to Colorado? Certainly not for money.
Well, you've got a lot of people living in Aspen. You've got a very nice lifestyle here. You ever tried driving in Los Angeles lately? You want to go from one location to the next, 2.5 miles, 2.5 hours, right? So you can't get around anywhere. There are actually, Louisiana is doing about $600 million a year now in feature film production because they put in incentives. And you know, you wouldn't think, oh, I'm going to go to Louisiana. Michigan, I believe, just put in 50% incentives. Ohio has 35% incentives because they've all found that the New Mexico model, which New Mexico is doing $1 billion a year, because they've got now the studios are moving to New Mexico.
I'm sorry. I'm talking about you and your school and coming to people to teach here at your school. Why would they leave? I understand maybe filming in Colorado, but why your school?
You know, it's funny. Colorado just happens to be there, and then these people arrive, and they ask around. They hear about the Colorado Film School. They come out, and I get them teaching.
Well, and he's being too modest. I mean, this is now a nationally known program because of you and because of the talent you've been able to pull here.
Well, there's a lot of people who would like to be here too. It's, you know, and that's why we're all here, right? There are certain benefits.
Best place in the world.
It really is, and you've got incredible. What's remarkable is right here. You can shoot blocks of downtown Denver for any city in the world. You know, certainly for Manhattan. Within an hour, you're out in the middle of the Rocky Mountains. You've got suburban landscapes. You've got so many different looks here within an hour of each other that it's really in 300 days of sunshine a year.
Could you give them an idea of some of the recent projects you've been working on?
Well, I mentioned earlier the DNC
Right.
project where we had 140 students out shooting, which we're getting online. I'm doing a thing with the Colorado Ballet that will be Friday night at the Museum of Contemporary Art.
The War Heroes?
Excuse me?
The War Heroes?
We've got actually working with Congressman Perlmutter's office in getting the veterans. We're documenting that Scott's been working on shooting and editing, documenting a lot of our veterans and war heroes, which is a vanishing, you know, group. And so getting that all for the Library of Congress and for everyone to have access to. So what we're doing is everyone's drawn initially to original narratives and making up stories and fictional work, but what we start to do is we start to ground them in the world around them. And if we can do that, that is really, instead of making up characters and making films about films and, you know, things that you've seen and copying things that you've seen, if we can get them to turn away from that virtual world and start noticing the people next to them, then all of a sudden they start understanding what real acting is, what real performance is, what believability is, and what values are.
How many people or students end up working in, you know, exciting stuff like Hollywood feature films, and how many end up in, you know, shooting commercials for the local cable station because that's the job they get?
It varies because generally if someone comes out of here and, for instance, a lot of our students before they graduate may be working on a crew. I asked a senior who was coming in the other day how it was going. He said, "Oh, it's great. I'm making $550 a day now. You know, that's his day rate for being a gaffer. Which is great because I was only paying him $250, you know, 6 months earlier. So you've got people doing that. We don't have that many. We have a group, a sort of a knot of people who are doing original feature films, low budget, trying to break in, that are having some success in going through that. But mostly we have people working crew and building up their portfolios. So.
Are you involved with any of the digital animation like Pixar?
We have had an animation program that we're looking at reviving again. We have Maya software that we were teaching, but we have to get the right instructors in, and